This is Michael McKean once again. You know, by being the first writer to really make the jump into directing, he did a terrible disservice to everybody else by having such great film manners and by hiring the best people. And his stuff never got wordy, even though people say a lot in these films. They never got wordy. I think these days a director will, you know, a director who was a writer will kind of break into films one of two ways. One, delivering really kind of static, wordy, set-bound pieces, or going the other way and making everything about 3-second cuts.
Where's this train going? I don't know. Well, how long does it take to get there?
Yeah, and I guess in the remake they'd be naked by now, and they'd be, you know, doing the jolly jump up in the hay, and, you know, there'd be shafts of light on their sweating bodies, and, or maybe not, I don't know, depends who was directing it, but yeah, he wouldn't have a shirt on. He'd have that Vaseline sort of chest thing. They don't curl up like that anymore. You see, in movies, it's considered she'd have her legs stretched out because she'd be naked. It's cuter when you have men's clothing on to tuck your feet up like that. I can see it now. Tony Danza, Valerie Bertinelli. Here we go.
It's better with a girl than without one. You would have thought.
It's also interesting that this is her first shot at being the tramp, and they picked this kind of almost Broadway tramp. It would, you know, almost like Mary June and the Newsboys from Gypsy. You know, this really kind of musical comedy hat. And then later in the film, when you see them going out the last time, when they've kind of had the nonsense chipped away, and they kind of know what it's really about. She's got this other kind of hat on. She's got this, you know, like a Stetson, an old beat-up Stetson. I mean, there's nothing jaunty or cute about it anymore. She's still cute, of course. She can't help that. But there's this kind of, it was an interesting choice.
This is the first example Sturgis really gives us of the consequences that will befall our couple as they travel, and in essence tempt fate where they should have been. They've gone into another world. At this point, the consequences are fairly minor, a little head cold, some achy bones, but you know, things quickly return to what for an average Hollywood couple would be typical witty remarks about their situation. For budding screenwriters, this is a perfect example of showing a situation, and then as the movie progresses, upping the stakes with each situation until the characters' reactions begin to move closer to what they might say in real life. And being a Sturgis movie, at the end, he flips this idea on its head again and gives us a totally fake Hollywood ending with an enormous amount of enthusiasm, I might add, thus both reassuring the audiences that things will work out as they expect when they come into a Hollywood film, and at the same time leaving them with a little bit of anxiety that maybe they've been had.
Shut up.
That tension may account for the film's less than expected success at the box office. It did okay, it made its money back, it made some money, but it was not a huge success. You know, I have to say that as a child, I've seen this film over 50 times, and it continues to reveal itself to me. I mean, just this last screening going for it, it's an extraordinary film, but it's not a film when I was young that I got immediately. It kept shifting its tone.
Look, there's a lunch stand.
Come on!
It's so funny. That's great. I do love watching her trying to jump off the train. She gets littler and littler as the movie goes on. First time you see her, he's sitting down and she's as tall as a movie star. And she looks like a movie star. And now, no matter what they put her in, she looked just more and more adorable. Look at this. It's like this little Jackie Coogan thing going on, you know? Think.
This film's unusual in another way in its use of locations. Paramount was tended to be a studio-bound company, which is to say, with the exception of perhaps westerns or a sea picture, I guess, they shot everything on the lot. Occasionally they'd go to their back lot for, some kind of exterior town scene, but mostly they stayed on the lot. And Sturges, again, because he had the power, which translated into money, took his crews out into the valley and surrounding areas where he could get a glimpse of the real America. It was only about 20 miles from the real studio, but it was as real as Hollywood was used to showing us. So here we are in what Sturges has implied is our protagonist's first real glimpse of America's heartland. Even lacking the proverbial dime to their name, Sturges' heroes show us their essential belief in the goodness of the American people. Here's one of his regular stock company members, Roscoe Aites, a man with the sourest, meanest face in the country, be, in the end, just an old softy at heart. And, of course, no matter how sincere the Hollywood director's intent, what comes out of his mouth is purely condescending and pretentious. All this is topped off with new information that the heartland of America is Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of greed and avarice. Talk about layering ideas. This film really, like Sturges' others, really rewards multiple viewings.